Hola bonitas, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and wear test on the brand new, very highly anticipated, one size, turn up the base, full beat liquid foundation. We're gonna get into this foundation, see how it does with my sensitive rosacea, oily skin, and I can't wait to show you guys my thoughts on this, so keep watching. I picked this up from my local Sephora. This one is in the shade medium 40G, and I did get shade matched by one of the lovely ladies who works there, and it was really nice because I feel like sometimes I get so overwhelmed with shades that I'm like, okay, I need to really figure out which one I am, really hit those undertones and all that. So I'm very excited about that. But look at this packaging. Super pretty. It comes in this glass container. It says shake well before use. I do want to read a little bit about this foundation. So I'm gonna pull up my Sephora app and we are going to just get right into this. So this does retail for $44. This is a long wear waterproof, sweat-proof foundation formulated with only 16 ingredients that give full coverage and maximum comfort to visibly blur and smooth without clogging pores. It's full coverage, it's matte, which eso me gusta because I do have oily skin. It does have 3 highlighted ingredients: laurel lysine, an amino acid that prevents makeup breakdown and provides water and sweat resistance; alkane complex, which is 100% plant-derived emollients replace silicone for a smooth feel; rice silk powder blurs skin with a soft focus finish. This is going to transform the complexion with weightless full coverage, look as good as it feels. It's 100% plant-derived emollients replace silicone for a soft matte finish that hugs skin all day. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's a nice creamy consistency, and we're going to begin applying it on this side. We're gonna do one side first and then the other side. Let me put the hair back because we are about to really start going in. So we're gonna do this side with a sponge. The sponge is damp, so we're gonna see how this just goes onto the skin. Okay, it's melting in really nicely. Even though it is more full coverage, I do feel like this foundation does not feel thick and heavy. It just feels really pretty on the skin. So right off the bat, I feel like the foundation is not looking radiant, which is good. I do feel like in some parts I had to add a little bit more product on top of what I had already laid down because I do have a lot of redness. So that's kind of where we're at. I like the fact that it's blending out easily. I like the fact that a sponge isn't absorbing too much of the product because sometimes it can. So I like that. Without foundation, with foundation, and even though it offers more full coverage results, I can say I like the fact that it doesn't feel heavy whatsoever. It feels very, very nice and lightweight. Okay, so we have it like that. I do want to go in with a little bit more just on this area and around the nose because that's where I do have a lot of redness. I feel like you can still see a little tiny bit of the redness on there. It is a very lightweight formula. Going in with a little bit more. I will say this formula is creamy, but it's honestly a little bit on like a gel consistency. So with the foundation, with no foundation once more, and I have to say I really like this shade. I feel like this shade matches me perfectly. When I was getting shade matched, we did try another shade too, but the shade pulled a little too orange, and I feel like with my medium tan Latina skin, I need something that is like right in between. It's not too warm, it's not too pink, it's right in the middle, and I think this shade in medium 40G really worked well with the complexion, and especially going into these colder months and I'm losing some of that color that I had from the summer. I do feel like this is a good match for the complexion, so that I like, and I definitely do feel like it's setting to a soft matte finish. So this is what it's looking like. We're gonna move on to this side. And on this side, I am going to be using a brush to apply the foundation because I do wanna see how it does with that. But I have to say, with the coverage, I do like it. I do like how it applies. I do like the finish that it gives me. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like I had to build it up in some areas, and that's just because I have a lot of redness that I need to cover up. So let's go ahead and pump some out for the other side. Something else I'm very appreciative of with these new, more full coverage foundations coming out is that they don't feel heavy and thick. Back in 2016, I feel like everything was just so heavy and thick. And now I feel like we're slowly moving from those natural skin-like skin tint foundations into more full coverage. I don't know why, but I feel like full coverage looks are gonna slowly start to come back. Maybe not to the capacity of like 2014, 2015, but I definitely do think we're gonna start seeing more full glam. So let me go ahead and blend out with the brush. The brush that I'm using is an A Cosmetics brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. This one is in the number 7, and we're just going around and we're covering all of this redness. I have to say, it covered pretty well all the redness on the cheek with the brush. So maybe if you do have more things you want to cover, I would recommend going in with a brush as opposed to a damp sponge, because a damp sponge may, you know, shear certain little parts out a little bit. Especially now seeing it with a brush, I'm like, ooh, okay. You can see there's some redness right there. Oh, there's still foundation here. I'm about to pump more out, but we have enough. So let's go in on the, oh yeah, I have to, yeah, for sure. That covered the redness on the nose so well. I'm impressed with this with a brush. So I would say if you want more full coverage, use a brush. The brush will really give you great coverage. It covered that redness on the nose quickly, as opposed to this side where we went with a sponge. Maybe because it was damp, it absorbed a little bit of the product, not too much. Let's say if you want more full coverage, go in with a brush. If you want more natural coverage, go in with a sponge. I think that'll work well for you. So this is how we are looking. Again, I really like this shade. I feel like this is a shade that I can work with. I also like this finish. The finish just sets to a soft matte finish for sure. I'm not seeing like luminosity or like radiance, like super crazy radiance. I feel like this just looks good. It also feels very lightweight, which is always a plus, especially when you're working with a more full coverage foundation or a foundation that does have that matte finish. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my first initial thoughts, and then we can go ahead and start this wear test bonitas, because we have a long day ahead of us and I want to see how this does. I feel like for these type of days, these type of foundations are truly ones to be, you know, looking into. So this is what we're looking like. Y ahorita regreso, so stay tuned, bonitas. Okay, bonitas, I am back. Wait, I'm wearing red lips to make sure I don't have any lipstick on my teeth. Okay, good. I just did a try on some new NARS red lipsticks, and I am wearing one right now. This one is the shade Take It Off. Very beautiful. I figured, you know, why not wear a little pop of red on those labios, since, you know, one size has a nice red packaging. I feel like it would look beautiful. So this is what we're looking like, and right now it is 7:47 in la mañana. We're gonna be wearing this foundation for the entire day. I wanna see how this is gonna do on the complexion. I wanna see how it's just going to wear, and all that good stuff. So really quickly, let me give you the rundown on what I did use. As always, I've really been into my cream products, and so I used cream bronzer, cream contour. I did a little bit of some cream blush, liquid blush, and then for under eyes, I did go ahead and apply my concealer. I used the Makeup by Mario concealer. Then I went in with the One Size Ultra Peach powder, which I love so much. That I just used to set directly on my under eyes to really lock everything into place there, and for everything to just look really nice. I didn't set any other part of the face, and to be honest, it's because I feel like the face looks good. I feel like it does set into a soft matte finish, whereas though you don't need to really necessarily set if you don't want to. Obviously, if you want to go do so, but for me personally, I felt like it just looked beautiful the way it is. I like the fact that it's not looking heavy or cakey on my skin. I also like the fact that it just blended out so nicely with everything else. It really became one with the skin and really delivered those good like soft matte effect results, which eso me gusta. But overall, I think the complexion looks good so far. You know, first impressions, it looks really nice, it looks good, it looks beautiful. One thing I do want to point out about this foundation is that I'm not seeing this oxidize on me. I have heard that for some people this does oxidize, but for me, I'm not seeing that. So that I definitely do appreciate of the foundation, that it's not oxidizing so far on me. So maybe it will by the end of the day, because sometimes foundations do oxidize for me. At the end of the day, I'll be like, whoa, that looks like a different shade. So we'll have to see about that when I come back for my end of the day results. But as always, I'll do it in natural lighting clips so you guys can see how this looks up close and natural, con la luz natural. It's been super rainy here in Maryland. I think it's because there's like a hurricane going on around like Florida and stuff. So it's been rainy, but I'm gonna try my best to get some sort of natural light video footage so that you can see how this is looking like. But this is the foundation right now, and I'm gonna go ahead, carry on with the rest of my day, and I'll see you bonitas later, so keep watching. Here I am in natural lighting. As you can see, this is what the complexion looks like. I feel like the foundation looks really good, and if anything, it kind of dried a little bit more to a matte finish, which I really like. Also, can we talk about these NARS lipsticks? I've eaten like 3 times already and drank my cafecito, and it's still really nice on and in place. NARS does not play with their lipsticks. But I just want to show you the foundation up close and personal. It looks really nice. I also really like this color. I feel like it suits me very well, so I'm appreciative of that for sure. Pero mira, me gusta. And right now it is 11:07. So I'll be seeing you guys tonight for my final thoughts. Okay, bonitas, I am back, and right now it is 4:57 p.m. and I'm actually ending this a little early because I'm going to be traveling. So I am getting myself together, making sure that I get everything done so that I can have this video up para ustedes. So right now it's about to be 5 p.m. but we've been wearing this for a pretty long day. I think since what, like 8 a.m., 7:45-ish. So it's been a long day. And this is what the One Size foundation looks like. Now, I do want to point out that I do feel like this did oxidize throughout the day. Not immediately. Some foundations do oxidize like immediately after you apply them. This one, I felt like slowly oxidized as the day progressed. So this is what we're looking like. I feel like overall, my experience with the foundation, I do like it. It's a beautiful foundation. Definitely offers you nice fuller coverage. I feel like it gives you the best coverage if you have things to hide with a brush than with a sponge. Just as somebody that does have a lot of redness and wants to cover all that redness. I will say though, I do get a little dewy. So I think for me, moving forward with this foundation, if I really want it to be completely matte and in place, I will definitely set it with my One Size setting powder, which you guys know I love. I like to bake my face with that, especially on those days where I want my makeup to last todo el día. And something else I would recommend if you have very, very oily skin to avoid any of this going on is using the One Size primer, which is this one right here. Like I said, there's a method to use this. Make sure you shake it well. Only use it in the areas where you get dewy. So for me, it would be like the T-zone area. Apply a very thin layer of it, let it dry for a minute, then go on with foundation. It's gonna apply beautifully. I feel like the one thing that I do love about One Size, as somebody that does have oily skin and things that I want to cover, they always come with that. Like they're ready to deliver full coverage, a matte finish, like they're ready to deliver all of that. I have to say overall, for most of the day, this wore very beautifully on my skin. As somebody with oily skin, I feel like it wasn't until around, right now it's about to be 5, it wasn't around until 3 p.m. that I started noticing it getting a little dewy. So I feel like I said, moving forward, I'll use a mattifying primer in the areas where I want it to be more matte, and I'll know to prep it with that and also set it with a nice powder if I do want it to be more oil-free for longer or for the rest of the day. But overall, I would say if you have like normal to like combination skin, I think you'll love this, and it gives you a really pretty soft matte finish. If you have more oily skin like I do, I would say make sure you use a matte primer in the areas where you want it to stay matte. And then, ooh, I just scratched some off with my nail as I was talking. And then go in and just bake the face with some setting powder. I always recommend the One Size Ultra Peach Powder. That one is like Chef's Kiss. That is my favorite powder. I feel like it's a really pretty foundation, and it's a foundation that I'm very excited to continue using this. I'm gonna be taking this on my trip, so I will be using this these next few days, and I am curious to see how it's gonna continue to do. So this is my long form video, in-depth thoughts. I think if you've had your eye, or you've been on the hunt for a full coverage foundation, a foundation that's going to give you a nice soft matte finish, I think you will really enjoy this foundation. Those are pretty much all my thoughts, bonitas. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. Let me know if you have tried this foundation. What are your thoughts? Will you be picking this up? Let's chat down below in the comment section. You guys know I love interacting con ustedes, so I will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Let's me know to continue doing estos videos, and have a fabulous day, have a fabulous weekend, and we will chat soon. Adios, bonitas.